First off, I want to apologize for being nearly radio silent for a month and a half. I'd like to say I was really busy working on some mega video, or even just being employed, but the truth is I wasn't doing anything, so like, shit, my bad. I will say, thank you for the astronomical support on the last video, and for those of you who stuck around, I hope this doesn't disappoint. For those who don't know, I'm obsessed with RETA levels.
You're a fucking loser!
Honestly, one of the worst hyperfixations of all time. I've made it my life goal to beat every RETA level on the servers, and I've made pretty significant progress already, having done just under half of them, and yeah, for the most part, I've enjoyed them. If you're a fan of flow-sync gameplay, I'd highly recommend playing some of these. This brings me to Kioku, a level that is heavily inspired by Kuzureta, having very obvious gameplay and decoration similarities. Some even claim that it's better. Honestly, I could see it living up to that title, since it doesn't have the fuck-ass duel at 48. I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no idea how hard this is gonna be. This very well could be like an easy extreme, but at the same time I could be getting into a new fucking hardest. Probably not, but like, you know. The main reason I say that is because of the ship parts. Like everything else is like really doable, even some of like hard-ass waves, but like, look. This is harder than the ships in like fucking Kuzureta, probably.
Are you ready for some badassery?
Somewhere the creator was like, yeah, I know the pre-drop is fucking impossible. Look at that fucking run, bro. I'm God. One thing that's interesting about playing all the RETA levels is you see like a ton of familiar names. Like Horizontal, he made Fukushu. There's like 33 of these levels that are all made by like the same 4 guys. Yeah. And then you get to fuck-ass Impossible Wave. The fuck-ass wave being 3 clicks total. Call me new record. That part's smooth. If you put a blue orb in a ship section, I'll immediately love your gameplay. Like, it's genuinely the best gimmick of all time. I will say this part is a pretty nice color. Like, a lot of RETA levels will have, like, the exact same shade of pink. Me losing my shit when a RETA level uses a slightly different shade of purple. Oh my god. Okay, and then that's the last part. The first run that I went for was 63 to the end, which is the most unique part in the level. After navigating through the standard glow decoration that is the rest of the level, you finally made it to Place Japan.
I think there's someone hanging right...
This part is a completely different style than the majority of the level, and while you can argue that it's out of place, I feel like it fits in well. Other parts allude to a forest theme, having flowers on a lot of the block designs and pretty much every background being a forest. The only difference is this part entirely commits to it, and goddamn, it commits to it well. One of my favorite elements of this part is the branches. They all have really cool looking shapes and satisfying curves. Kioku branch, spin around. They also have well executed shading that makes them look 3D, especially the ones in the foreground. I also want to point out how nice the foliage is. All the flowers are deceptively simple. The stems only use the arc outlines and the flowers themselves don't do much more than that. The thing is, you don't really notice how simple they are while playing, and to be honest, making them more complex would take away from its elegance. It's also great for optimization, if only that worked in practice. The biggest issue I had with this part visually is how muddy some parts look. The later blocks tend to blend into the background, making it look a bit murky. I'm gonna be real, I'm not a creator. I don't know how you'd really fix that. One thing that seemed to work was adding more colors. Throughout most of the part, the blocks exclusively use pink lighting, but this one ball section has yellow lighting, making the part yellow, blue, and pink. I feel like that did a lot to solve the muddiness issue, and I don't know why that wasn't implemented more. The gameplay is mostly fair, except for 2 choke points. The first being the ball section I was just talking about. Fuck this ball. The issue is that the spike on the edge of the bottom platform is too far to the left, so if you land too far to the right, you'll die no matter what. This makes the click beforehand a lot tighter than it seems, and in my opinion, pretty fucking unfair. The second choke point is immediately after the ball, and is the fuck-ass wave gravity portal click. The issue with these clicks in general is that the portal hitbox is really ambiguous, so it's difficult to judge the timing. On top of that, the gravity portal is scaled down, so the hitbox is smaller than what I'm used to. These clicks especially piss me off since I could have easily replaced it with the LeBron James of wave gameplay. Even with the 2 choke points, this is my favorite part of the level. I wish more RETA levels branched out from glow style, because it's more often than not super fucking awesome. Shukufuku is my second favorite level because the creator decided to do something different, and Shirakami is coming for first. This transition is gonna kill me 11,000 fucking times. The blocks in the Straight Fly look weirdly similar to some blocks in the Terraria Calamity mod. Like, I think it's like Brimstone slabs or something. In Calamity playthroughs, I like only build with Calamity blocks, even though they add like 4, because they're like really nice looking and like have a ton of applications. This part is like deceptively difficult. Like, I'm gonna die here a few times, guaranteed. Not even just because the part is hard, but because of shitty luck, obviously. Like, that ball part is evil. It's evil. It's built by Lord Garmadon. This part doesn't seem that difficult, especially compared to the last part with the fuck-ass wave. That's such a weird death. If that happens from Zero, I'll be pissed, but like, how does that even happen? Okay. Did the run. 63 to 100, but not really, because the end screen starts at like 15%. Idiot. I'm gonna die there from Zero. Watch this. Multiple times. It's gonna be a saga. One thing that does scare me is this part is obviously fine now, but I'm worried that going from Zero, like, I'm gonna get to this part and then it's gonna like lag a bunch.
There are hot milk.
I don't know how well optimized this part is. Especially with how awkward that transition is now. If there's lag on top of it, it's over. But I don't even know if those hitboxes in that shit part are like accurate or not. Anyway, I'm moving on. The part beforehand uses the standard RETA glow style. I know I just talked about how I wish more RETA levels did something more creative, but that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. I'm gonna rip in the next parts a bit, but just know that it's still better than anything I've made. The level is overall pretty solid, and I'm just playing my part as the over-analytical, pretentious YouTube reviewer. An issue that's present in not just this part, but a bunch of lesser-known RETA levels, is a lack of polish. Again, I'm not a creator, so I can't just take one glance at this part and give perfect, concise advice on exactly how you'd fix it, but you can kind of tell something is off. Honestly, my leading theory is that I personally hate these ground spikes, like just in general. Maybe the association between them and Sakup and Hell is too strong or something. Other than that, it's just tiny nitpicks, like when the level pulses, for a brief second all the details melt into a wall of black, and all the color is drained from the block designs except for some spikes for some reason, and these lines where the glow intersects. These are obviously tiny criticisms, but I still think they're noteworthy. I really like the amethyst pointy spikes. I feel like they add a lot to the otherwise monochromatic ground spikes, and I wish there was more stuff like that in this part. Some crystals inside the ground spikes would fill in the void that's there at the moment. The background is nothing crazy, but is executed well. I just realized this background was copied 1-to-1 from Kuzureta. Please don't do that. It's one thing to copy an entire level since it takes 20 seconds for someone to notice, but for stuff like this you need someone that transcends the autism spectrum to count the number of moons in each RETA level to notice something like this. You can tell the creator put this in thinking nobody would ever know. Assuming that's the only part that's stolen, they obviously have the creating ability to make a background, or even none at all. With that said, I don't want anyone else seeking justice over this. Not that this shouldn't have consequences, but the internet is notoriously terrible at giving proper judgment, and I don't think the creator deserves to have their entire bloodline's balls crushed over stealing a background in an unrated level. Anyway, I was going to point out how this background carries the burden of including the obligatory RETA moon that's present in over half the RETA levels. Another fun fact is that the background this level stole from was the first instance of the RETA moon. Crazy. A.R. Woolley could not have predicted the ripple effect from only 100 objects. For a few frames, Aoreta even has 2 moons at the same time like it's fucking Tatooine. No, Wazareta, I am your father. The only real gameplay flaw in this part is the first wave being a pretty big choke point, but at least for me it became muscle memory. Other than that, the gameplay is pretty solid. The issue I have with the gameplay throughout the entire level is how repetitive a lot of parts seem. Most of the clicks consist of just hitting an orb and going up and down, if that makes any sense. Yes, the level syncs with the music, but other than that, a lot of clicks aren't super interesting. Like using Kuzureta as an example, there are a few filler clicks, but most clicks are unique and stand out a lot more than Cicada 3302 79%. It also benefits music representation. A lot of the best sync levels don't only sync, but the icon moves almost like a visualizer, if that makes sense. There are obviously other ways to make gameplay more interesting, this is just one example. This seems to be a pretty common pitfall when making sync gameplay. I've even made this mistake 1,000 times, and I'm extremely talented at making gameplay. There we go. That was kind of a fluke, but... Right, what is that? 55 to 84. 39%. That's pretty decent. It's not really 39% because of the end screen being so long. I will say this so I don't jinx myself. The ending is very, very chokeable. I can't imagine dying to those last 3 clicks. But I will say, I strongly appreciate not making the ending fucking impossible. Like, goddamn. Like, if I have to do another fuck-ass frame-perfect green orb click, I will die. One blanket statement I'll say about this level is that learning it seems like it would be really unfun. But once you figure it out and, like, find out what clicks you need to do weirdly, it actually becomes pretty enjoyable. I could regret saying this later on if I have a horrible experience from zero, which has happened plenty of time. At least doing runs, this is not bad. I'm getting really lucky on that last ship. Anyway, I think I can move on now. I'm decently consistent, maybe. This part I'm worried about because of that fuck-ass wave, but... Believe it or not, I think the wave is starting to get consistent. This run is starting to, like, whoop my ass now. Like, that click has never been a problem until now. Okay. There we go. Finally, I did the run. I shouldn't have been as hard as it was. That's like, what, 49 to 83, I think. It's definitely the fuck-ass part where doing runs to the end starts to become exponentially more difficult. I've died more to the ending in this run than I have learning the fucking ending. Okay, there we go. Damn it. Alright, that took fucking forever. I feel like I'm, like, getting tired and, like, not doing very well. Yeah. Let's go, Juniper. Good job on making that part. Anyway, yeah, so I'm probably going to take a break from, like, doing this part of the level. I'm going to work a bit on the pre-drop, because I know that part is going to be fucking hell. I'm going to see if I can do the beginning of the second half of the pre-drop to the drop, including the fuck-ass wave. I can do it. Easily, in fact, apparently. Either that wave part is, like, free, or I'm just getting really lucky. Where I think difficulty right now, just like my prediction, like, halfway through beating it, I guess. Probably around medium tier extreme difficulty. That being, like, aftermath-ish difficulty, maybe a bit easier. Okay, I'm gonna be so for real. I know that was my goal, but I died to such a stupid fucking dumbass part. Like, it is embarrassing to have 23% as my best on this level. So I'm gonna go until, like, at least that wave part. Because, like, that's a noble death, you know? Okay, that's a more reasonable death. I'll take it. 27. I'm okay with that. It's gonna get more consistent, hopefully. And especially after a break, it'll hopefully just kind of work. So yeah, that's my first session on this. Okay, hey, I'm back. It's the day after. I was gonna get on yesterday again, but my friend started a Terraria server and we just did that the entire day. So yeah, that was fun as hell. Anyway, I just did 49 to 100 as a warm-up, so I'm going to do the part before it to the end. This part isn't that hard, so hopefully that's not that bad. I won't cover these next parts as extensively as the previous parts, since a lot of my earlier points still apply here, such as the gameplay being decently fun, but still could be more interesting. I'm also not covering these parts as extensively since this probably 15 to 20 minute video has obviously been in procrastination hell. With that said, this is my second favorite part of the level. Relative to other parts, this part is pretty polished. Like, it can always be better, no fucking shit, but there isn't anything wrong with it visually that needs improvement. The block designs are some of the most simplistic in this level, but at the same time, do the best job at conveying the gardeny theme in the last part. It takes a level of creating ability that I personally will never achieve, to be able to convey an idea with only as many objects as necessary instead of placing shit until it's detailed enough. The branches in the foreground are also pretty as hell and complement the background really well, which, by the way, seems heavily inspired by the pretty as hell thumbnail bait part of Kuzureta, but is distinct enough that it gets the pass, for my standards at least, especially with this level being basically a Kuzureta love letter. The first half of this part's gameplay is my favorite in the entire level. It starts extremely strong with objectively the best ship gimmick, John 2126. The following gameplay is pretty solid besides this wave click that killed me a lot. The part, however, ends with a super lazy UFO part that's just awkwardly buffed 2020 daily gameplay. It's really out of place. It's not like you are backed into a corner with an awkward and uneventful part of the song. This guy's whole ass misanthrope part is a single dash orb. You could have at least changed the game mode or added some orbs.
This UFO part is weird. That's the only part I don't really like. But like other than that, that's the entire part. It's free. It's free. The only hard parts are like that blue orb is a bit of an awkward timing. Tiny bit, not really. And then that one mini wave click. And after that, like that's the part. And the UFO can sometimes fuck you up, but like I'm hoping that gets consistent. That part is gonna kill me 11 times from 0. I'm calling it now. I'm so geeked. I'm so Sigma. I am gonna kill myself. Anyway, okay, I did the run. That wasn't actually that bad. I was kind of worried with 49 to the end. That part seemed like piss difficult, but the beginning of the drop doesn't seem nearly as hard, so maybe this level's gonna be easier than I expected. Should I do that one more time? Honestly, I don't even know. I think I'm good with that, because that part is pretty free.
The first part of the drop returns to more standard glow block designs. They look pretty solid, but still could be more polished. I feel like the biggest issue is that it completely ignores the LD50 of glow, making the block designs shine way brighter than it needs. Unfortunately, this part also copied a background from Kuzureta, being the trees in the thumbnail part. It's obviously extremely unfortunate that it happened twice, and since it's clearly not a one-time thing, it brings into question every other element in this level. One of the things that makes me so intrigued with these levels is that while a huge chunk of them have the exact same theming and color palette, it's interesting seeing every creator's unique approach. Writing this out, I realized that RETA levels are the exact opposite of 9 Circles levels. If you are the worst background creator this game has ever seen, first of all, you're not, and second of all, the entire point of me playing this level is that I want to see your interpretation of the theme. I value a shitty background more than a stolen one. The gameplay is, again, about the same quality as the rest of the level. My only gripe is that it's strange how low this green orb is, but that doesn't actually affect the gameplay in any way.
One thing that does kind of infuriate me though, is how like those wave structures like move slightly. So sometimes you'll like hold up on the edge of one, and you'll die because it moves into you. It's not that bad, but like, it's annoying when it kills you, you know? Another thing that's kind of weird is how like this first part of the drop uses so much shake. Like you have the most upbeat song of all time, and then like the gameplay is just fucking, the level looks like it's about to fucking explode. Those 2 ball clicks are harder than Michigan's entire part in Bloodbath. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking with me right now? Like that, the click is not even hard. Like, is there, hold on, is there a hitbox there? I keep dying to that, and like, there's nothing there. Okay, that's evil. That is evil. Like, Kanye West evil, bro.
I'm an evil person.
I can't believe Judge Holden has a part in this part. I spent 500 attempts alone on this fucking part. Oh my god. I hate that wave click so much. That's like, this level's like pretty decent, I'd say overall. Some gameplay and could be polished, but I'm sorry, that wave click is terrible. Alright, so I did the run. I'm gonna start going from 0 now. I'm probably gonna have to go into practice mode again eventually because I'm gonna spend forever at the pre-drop and lose consistency. Hopefully I can beat it soon and not get stuck at the end for 3 hours, but yeah. That run took a really long time, so hopefully I learned a lot and this doesn't take super long. Or it could just be impossible and I'll be sat here forever trying to beat the level.
The pre-drop is probably the weakest gameplay-wise. Once you learn it, it isn't that difficult. The ships are impossible at first. Once you figure out the click pattern, that's pretty much just sync anyway, it becomes significantly easier. The issue I have with this part is how clunky it feels, but it's consistent enough that it isn't a huge problem. The part that really drags the pre-drop down is that it's balanced like Ashley wave trials. This fuckshit wave is way harder than anything else in the level. Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby's ass. I died to the wave more times than I would pass it, which is obviously really fucking frustrating. It is at a pretty good spot for choke points though. It's only 15 seconds in the level, so you get there super frequently. If you really want to piss me off, put the choke point in your level at like 60%, so it takes 5 fucking years to get there, and if you miraculously pass it, good fucking luck. The part looks alright. The block designs are relatively simple and kinda generic, but get the job done. The background is pretty lazy, but it's original. Great work. I fucking love you.
So this is the thing with going from 0. If you haven't played a lot of extremes, you wouldn't know. If you're normal, you also probably wouldn't really know. But for some reason, when going from 0, you can't die to something normal. You always have to die in like the most bullshit ass way possible after like fluking something hard. What I predict will happen is I'll pass the fuck ass ball part, and then I'm probably going to die to the buffer black orb. Like that's an example. That's probably what's gonna happen. That might just be me though. I might just be an idiot, but you know. Most expected death of all time. That click is like the difficulty of the entire 9 circles drop. The difficulty of the entire poltergeist drop. Okay. Notice how I've only died to wave parts pretty much. What was that lag, bro? Oh my god. What percent is that? 67. That's because of the end screen. That's actually like 94. What the fuck? Well, I wasn't supposed to fluke that. I'm sorry? What the fuck? That's not supposed to happen, bro. What? What? I didn't die to the ball. I fluked the fucking ball. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh, good heavens. Pretty solid level. Liked a lot of that. Only gripe is it is so incredibly choke point heavy. They're not like the worst thing ever, but yeah, kind of banger. Also, I like how this level has like some crazy art for the credits, and then their actual end screen is just the end. I recommend that if you're into like these types of RETA levels. Again, it's choke point heavy, it's kind of janky, so I could imagine if you're just absolutely not in this sphere of levels that you probably wouldn't enjoy it too much. Difficulty-wise, I'd say it's around like medium difficulty, extreme demon. Glad I fluked that. I probably enjoyed this a lot more than I would have if I died at the end a million times. I've probably said everything else that I wanted to say beforehand. I'm trying to do more scripted stuff inside my videos because I can think out jokes a bit more and like just think out words a bit more in general. Like I am so bad at talking. Like holy shit. Alright, so about the Terraria playthrough. About the Terraria session I did yesterday, because that's like about the Terraria session that I had yesterday, because I have a story about that.
Let's have a word of encouragement from Chia-chan. You do, but...
I'm gonna limit my talk, like actual unscripted talking for a bit. Fun level, I enjoyed that. Glad I played it. If it was a bit more polished, it would probably be rate worthy, but unfortunately the truth is that I can't really see RobTop rating this when there's so many other levels that are like higher quality than this that RobTop won't rate. So that's just the unfortunate reality. Fucking what's a shitty level? Club Stuff X is rated, so the rate standards don't mean shit. Anyway, yeah, I said I was gonna stop talking like 30 minutes ago, and here I am. Shut the fuck up. Okay, I'll stop now. Goodbye.
かけた細い